Author Bonita Hampton Smith is here with us today. She recently released a collection of letters titled Dear White Woman, Dear Black Woman, and we are so excited to have you here to tell us all about it.
I am so excited to be here to tell you about it too. Thank you.
Let's first of all, the title, let's talk about that. What does that mean, and just what is the book about?
So the book is a collection of letters. I was inspired right after George Floyd, the brutal killing of George Floyd. And I was inspired to have white women to write letters to black women and black women to write letters to white women, for the purpose of bridging the racial divide and also inner healing and understanding amongst black women and white women.
You know, race is one of those topics in our country that it can be hard to navigate, and it can be hard to reach across other races and really be honest. You don't know, what you can say, but I feel a lot of people do have things on their heart to say. Is that what you found when people were writing these letters?
Absolutely. We created a space where we could do honest storytelling. And it's kind of like journaling your thoughts. If you're alone with yourself, what would you want to say to a white woman right now? What would you want her to know to create an understanding so that we can get beyond all the isms? And so that's the goal of the book. And these women were so vulnerable, they were truthful, and the storytelling, I truly believe, is a pathway of creating an understanding, because once I get to know you and discover our interconnectedness, our interrelatedness, then we can work together well. But we have to do that when we're healed, and we're not going to get healed until we deal with our stuff.
Absolutely.
And this is the goal. Let's deal with it so that we can move forward together, you know?
Yeah, kind of get rid of that confusion. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't want to ask. This is what's on the hearts and minds of some people.
Yeah, it's getting rid of the confusion, but it's also dealing with your inner world.
True.
You know, so if I deal with my inner world, that will be a byproduct, eliminating confusion. Because if I'm healed on the inside, then I can start to dismantle my stereotypes that I believe, these biases that I've chosen. I can rewrite my narrative in my inner world. And I can choose to believe something different about you, because when I know better, I can do better, as your mother would say.
As
you know?
she would. So there are about 56 letters written. Half are black women, half are white women. And they each have unique titles. They summarize the messages that they have. For example, I thought our struggles were the same is one of those. Do good without fear, seeing and celebrating our differences. So these are some of the titles. And for you, why was this work so important for you to do?
You know, Mrs. King's had this quote that it just sticks with me. She said, "Women, if the soul of the nation is to be saved, I believe you must become its soul." I believe that we as women, we have some powerful work to do, but we cannot allow our differences, we cannot allow those things that no longer serve us well to stand between us. And I believe once we come together, we can work and change the very trajectory of this nation, because women are powerful. You know, we just flew up in space the other day. So we are some powerful creatures, but we've got to be healed. We got to do this well, and we got to forgive each other, work well together, and learn to love and embrace our inner light. I believe if we embrace our inner light and we lean into love, there's nothing we can't do together. And that's what this book is all about. Let me get to know you. Let me get to know your story. I'll tell you this real quickly. There's this one young lady in the book named Amidra. She's a black lady, and she tells a story about buying a dog so that her son, her black son, could walk through her neighborhood, which is predominantly white, safely. Because she knew if a white woman or a white male saw her son walking with a dog, they would start to engage the dog, and they would engage her child as a child and not as a threat. Yeah,
you wouldn't know in their mind if this was someone who needed to be there. We've seen that happen time and time again.
But just the thought process, of a mother thinking, let me figure out a way to protect my son.
As he's just walking.
As he's just walking through his neighborhood, you know. So that's the power of these stories, that we get to discover what's on the hearts and minds of a white woman, black woman, so I can get to know you and we can serve better together.
Beautiful stuff here. You need some positivity on a Wednesday morning. Bonita Hampton Smith, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, thank you.
And Dear White Woman, Dear Black Woman is available right now. You just have to click on this link in the story on AtlantaNewsFirst.com to buy a copy.